Hi, welcome everybody. It's challenging times to get around the country. Thanks for coming. I'm Firas Rahal. I'm a member of Excite Ventures and of Retina Vitreous Associates Medical Group in Los Angeles. I'm happy everyone made it. This is our first meeting for this in a couple of years, and I think the first meeting for anything, and I'll go into that a little bit here once the slides are up, in a couple of years, and a chance to meet up with old friends and have a few laughs and maybe learn something. We'll try. Can we have the slides up, please? So, again, you guys may have heard about this thing called the pandemic. It's put a gouger into everything that we do in medicine and in business, and it continues. So there have been all these challenges, which I'm just going to briefly kind of review how that may or may not have affected us. Nearly all the travel that we do, business related or otherwise, ceased. This is all since the last time we've all seen each other face to face. Nearly all essential medical services, non-essential medical services ceased or paused. And I'm a very busy practicing physician. We felt this in the clinics. Retina was deemed appropriately to be essential. So we all kept going. And I think the data is pretty clear around the country. At its lowest, retina volume went down maybe 50%, maybe 40%, as opposed to general ophthalmology, which approached 90+% loss of volume, revenue, et cetera. But those numbers were pretty brief, and then things started rising up after the first few months. All the regional, international ophthalmology and retina meetings were either canceled or became virtual. Again, I think this is the first one in a long time. Face-to-face meetings of all types also ended. And this is really how we do the business of our business. As much as we have all transitioned into Zoom and phone conferences, things we did already to some extent, the face-to-face meeting for me, and I think for a lot of people in this room, is still probably the best way to do real business and make real deals. And that ceased. So all these things put a damper on how we proceed in our innovation business. The financial markets, although unsteady and we're nervous and there was a lot of fear, it's remarkably good, surprisingly good. We'll hear a lot about this later today on some of the panels and some of the talks. But again, quite a barrier in the beginning out of fear. And as a result of that, clinical trials paused or ceased for a long time, of great relevance to the people in this room. And even if they didn't, recruitment certainly suffered considerably and still might be a little bit suffering, but it's come back. We do a lot of trials in our center in Los Angeles, and the numbers have definitely picked back up. So despite all that, somehow, I'm not even sure how, but it's through will and the strong efforts of people in this room, scientists, clinicians, our industry professionals, management professionals, the finance people, and all the stakeholders in ophthalmology innovation. Again, the people in this room somehow weathered this, pushed through, and it's been an actually incredibly highly productive year and a half in our space. And I'm congratulating all of you. It's been quite remarkable. I'm shocked by how much productivity there's been despite all this. So I'm just speak for a few minutes about, what's hot in our space. This is something that we kind of review, anticipating what we're going to hear today. And always hot for the last 20 years in our space, which means we haven't done a great job of solving it, is dry macular degeneration and treatment of dry macular degeneration. It's been really elusive. It's been a challenge since I've been in the business of ophthalmology, since my residency in the early 90s. Yet undeterred by the elusiveness, we have a lot of great companies doing a lot of great work, and two of them are in late phase clinical trials. We'll hear from two of them in that stage today. Iveric and Apellis both are in late stage clinical trials with good results. Others that are in various phases of development are going about it in widely different ways. There's a lot of different mechanisms of action and treatment paradigms here. I obviously will leave it to the experts to describe those to you. But just so you know, that usually means we don't know exactly what the etiology of the disease is, but that's okay. We've solved other diseases that way in the past. And we'll hear from Lumathera, who's doing light therapy, Gemini Therapeutics, Annexin Bio. ONL Therapeutics is using a novel approach with blockage of apoptosis. and then regenerative patch technologies, which is a true surgically implanted stem cell device into the subretinal space, very unique. What else is hot? Also been topic of big discussions for the last 5 to 10 years is drug delivery, or more broadly, extending the durability of the treatments we've already found to be very successful in wet AMD and diabetic retinopathy and the associated conditions. And there's a lot of ways to try to do extended release or increase durability. One of them is to say, and this is very grossly speaking, attach a successful molecule to a polymer or a gel or some kind of carrier molecule to make it an extended release version, just like a capsule does for medications orally. And we have Retina Therapeutics speaking today in this space, EyePoint Pharmaceuticals, Graybug is in this space, Aerie Pharmaceuticals is in this space. There are many others, actually. This is a very busy area, and we'll hear from these great companies today. Another way to try to extend the durability or quote unquote deliver drugs in a unique and sort of more powerful way may be surgical, and surgical devices are going to be relevant here. And many of you know about Genentech's project that's far along with the port delivery system, or PDS. We'll hear about that maybe today. They're here, but I'm not sure what we're going to hear from them specifically. Clearside Biomedical, a different concept. It's a surgical device, but it's not really to extend necessarily the duration, but to deliver drugs into a unique location in the eye. The suprachoroidal space, which is something historically we retina surgeons are a little timid about, but this is a unique way to get it in there in the office, and there may be some advantages to that location. The other way is just, increase the duration of the drug. However, one might do that biochemically or biophysically. It can be conjugated to other molecules, et cetera. And we have a lot of people working in this space as well. Kodiak, Ocufire, which is a unique concept of delivering drug orally for diabetic retinopathy. We'll hear about that. Oxular. Genentech, of course, has a great product coming down the pike too, with much longer action in wet AMD and possibly others, and Schleppix. And then another topic that we'll cover today, also in a panel, these are all going to be part of our panel discussions, cell and gene therapy, also known as regenerative medicine. I broke this up into disease categories. There's so many people, so many companies actively pursuing this with good advance. In retinitis pigmentosa, we have DTX, which has a unique siRNA technology, GenSight and Nanoscope, which are utilizing optogenetics gene therapies for retinitis pigmentosa, JSight, uniquely injecting cells into the vitreous for the effect, and then Ivensis, which is also, I keep using the word unique, these are really unique paradigms, using electrotransfection with a non-viral vector to get gene therapy into the eye. In macular degeneration and diabetic retinopathy, also very busy area. We have a number of companies. Adverum is creating a biofactory model, which we've talked about in the eye for many years. They're delivering intravitreally, at least so far. Regenx Bio, also a biofactory model, which you'll hear about, and they're pretty far along in clinical trials. They're delivering subretinal space or suprachoroidal delivery, and the Clearside device may be relevant in that. And then regenerative patch technology I mentioned earlier is a full-on surgical implant with cells inserted into the subretinal space for geographic atrophy. And then finally, artificial intelligence is a very broad category, and I'm far from expert in this, so I'm looking forward to hearing from some of these folks. This is, for me, some of this stuff hard to understand, but I broke it up into diagnostic and therapeutic categories. This is all digital technologies, some of which are using artificial intelligence. On the diagnostic side, DeepMind, Genentech has a program, iNook, Notal Vision, Novartis has a program, IDX, and we've previously heard from Tracery. I don't think we're hearing from them today, but a lot of these other folks we'll hear from today. And these are in the diagnostic areas. In the therapeutic area, really, in this digital technology right now in ophthalmology, that falls mostly into the low vision rehabilitation space or vision assistance space. And we'll hear from Samsara Vision and Pixium Vision today. We've also heard in the past from Idaptic and our friends at Ocutrix Vision Technologies in this space. And then finally, and I'm going to go over time here, but this is the last slide. We'll hear in a minute Retina Pharmaceuticals update from one of our expert analysts. The panel discussions that I just mentioned in the three areas that we went over will be moderated by my esteemed co-chairs. You saw them earlier on the slide. I'd like to mention them and thank them for everything they did to put this meeting together with us. Jay Duker, Sophie Bakri, and Mark Homayan. And then we'll have a couple of panels towards the end, separate from those, finding and funding retina assets from our founder, Dr. Emmett Cunningham. Glad he's here. And then I will moderate a section. And this title always kind of escapes me, Retina Industry Panel. I'm never quite sure what that means, but we'll have a few really smart guys who will tell us how they run their business, I think, if I can get them to talk openly. And then please come back during the lunch period. We're going to honor the great Stanley Chang with the OIS Innovator Award, well deserved for a great career in innovation.